Hello, YouTube. Hoosier Archer here. This is another redo for a Thirsty Thursday video. There were some problems with the original video, not the least of which was right in the middle of filming the tripod, for the lack of a better word, configuration, holding the camera disassembled, shall we say, and the camera fell to the ground. So there was this motion sickness inducing spiraling camera falling, wall, ceiling, floor, door, fall, ceiling, floor, and so uh, that kind of put the kibosh on using that. Oh, and then when it hit the ground, the camera stopped working. So, not that it stopped permanently, it just, for some reason, I was able to get a hand on it a little bit and therefore cushioned its blow to the ground so it didn't hit with full impact, but maybe my finger maybe pushed the stop button or something. But anyway, before I signed off. Okay, now with those gory details out of the way, let's talk about the beer in question. Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. Now, I was really wanting to try this, but it was never on the one-off shelf. Then I happened to drop by my local grocery store, and I was grocery shopping, and when I grocery shop, I go past their beer department and I look in their one-off shelves to see if there's anything I've never tried before. Usually their one-off shelf is where, 3 out of 6 of a 6-pack of something have broken, so they take the other 3 and they put them on the one-off shelf. And that can be from anything. There's rough handling of merchandise and that. Well, anyway, this usually gets treated with a lot of respect because it's fairly expensive. It's $11.99 for 4 of them, so $3 a bottle, which means if you were to buy this in a bar, it'd be about $9, unless you bought it on draft. I don't know what it would be if you bought it on draft, but out of a bottle, their markup is about 300% on bottled domestic beer. Anyway, this is a medium ale. It's aged in oak bourbon barrels, and it's 9.14% by volume. So the most alcoholic beer I've tried so far in my Thirsty Thursday videos. So be warned that if you drink this, like it, and end up drinking the entire 4-pack, you're going to have more alcohol in your system than if you drank 6 Coors Lights, Bud Lights, Busch Lights, Bud Dummer. Everybody asks me why I call Budweiser Bud Dummer. Well, it makes more people dumber than it makes them wiser, so hold my beer and watch this. Okay, that's usually anyway, but I digress. This has a lot going for it. The anticipation of tasting this got in the way of my reviewing, because I really thought this was going to be my first 5 out of 5. So when it wasn't a 5 out of 5, I almost reacted negatively to that, and that would have been unfair to the ale. This is a very respectable 4.25 out of 5. It has a slightly like fresh apple tartness, although it doesn't taste like an apple. It's just a fresh apple's level of tartness versus squeezing a teaspoon of lemon juice's tartness. You know, in other words, there's a level of magnitude between those. So the front end has a slight sweet tart beginning, and then it has some bourbon notes in the middle, some of the caramel of bourbon, some of the oak notes, and then it has a slightly bitter and slightly astringent finish that on the back end that vacillate between I like that and I don't like that, at least with me. So that's the back end is what takes this away from being a 5 out of 5. Because not because it's necessarily bad on the back end, but because I couldn't decide whether it was bad or good. So I thought that was worth almost a full point in my review. But I would say at the price, this is a special occasion beer, and it would definitely, I think you'd find this worthy of a special occasion. 4.25, you might actually rate it higher. This is quite an outstanding bottle of ale. As I say, I think I let my disappointment that it wasn't the holy grail of beers cause me a little prejudice toward it. But it is absolutely a beer you should put on your try list. If you see this in the store, and especially if you see one bottle on the one-off, give it a try. You will not probably be disappointed, because it's a good drink. But if you just go out and buy a 4-pack, keep in mind this is 9.14. That's approaching wine's level of alcohol. So if you drink all 4 of them in one sitting, you're going to have the level of alcohol you'd have if you drank a 12-pack of your usual beer. You know, your Busch Light, your Bud Light, your Coors Light, your Coors, your Bud Dummer, your Busch, your Pabst Blue Ribbon, your Old Milwaukee. This is actually 3 times stronger than, just about 3 times stronger than those. Just to let you know. And as I said, the higher alcohol content means a better, usually means a better mouthfeel. So, put that on your to-try list. I think you'll enjoy it. God bless, happy trails, and watch your top knot.